Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. So I sent our scammer back an email during the break that said, okay, 10 cards for the diligent employees. I got it. You're the boss. I was just making a suggestion. But 10 Amazon cards, 200 apiece. Roger that. Well, I've got a reply. Awesome. Keep me posted. Let me know when you have the cards available so we can do the exchange. Thanks. This guy, or whoever it is, I've already said, the hook is set. The hook is set. I probably shouldn't be getting this much enjoyment out of this. But it just, they waste people's time all the time. And if I'm keeping him involved here so he's not stealing or she's not stealing from anybody else, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. Hey, during the break, I also got a text message. It says, will there be an exemption for Congress not to be taxed on their investments? I promise you the Republican Congress people will probably they'll probably want to tax them. But I see what you mean. Like Obamacare. That Congress could exempt out of Obamacare. They don't have to have the mandate to have health insurance. There's a lot of things Congress exempts out of that they try to require you to do. And they would probably exempt themselves from this 20% investment tax as well. Hell, they won't set term limits for themselves. You think they're going to tax themselves 20% on their investments? No. They'll tax you, but they won't tax themselves. That's how they keep their money. They take your money, but keep theirs. And the fact that people can't see through that is what amazes me. That's really what amazes me, is the fact that people can't see through. This is just really creating a slippery slope that allows them to eventually tax everybody's investment portfolios. Everybody's, not just the one percenters. And the fact that either the liberal left doesn't see it or could care less and are complicit with it, I don't know which it is. It's the old adage. My dad had the greatest example. When I tell people this, they say it. My dad was not. He was not somebody that jammed his political beliefs down your throat. But he had an uncanny understanding of the political system in this country. German immigrant, mechanic, grew up on a dairy farm in Wisconsin, and he had a unique ability to nail the difference between when you label somebody a liberal or conservative. He nailed it, or Democrat, Republican, however you want to look at it. My dad's adage was, if you're under the age of 30 and you're not still liberal, and you're not liberal, go back to college yet. They haven't made you smart enough. Indoctrination. He says if you're over 30 and you're not conservative, give it a while. The government just hadn't taken enough of your money yet. And that's 100% accurate in my opinion. And I know it was my dad, so I, put a little more stock into what he says than most. But I always thought that was a great definition. If you're under 30 and not liberal, go back to college. You haven't been made smart enough yet. And if you're over 30 and not conservative, just give it a while. The government just hadn't taken enough of your money yet for you to change. I thought that was a very accurate description of the difference between liberals and conservatives. Because it breaks it down to exactly what everybody is really in tune to. Money. That's what it is. Money. Makes the world go round. It is the one evil that is a definite necessity. no matter what form it comes in. People say, Tom, there was long before there were money. No. Salt was money at one time. Gold, silver, different ores were money at one time. Spices from the Orient were money at one time. Bushels of corn and eggs in the Midwest and the West, when in the frontier age and everything, were money, because you bartered. Money's just not paper and coins. And if the government takes enough of your money, you eventually will say, no, stop. That's why governments have to take control. Like in communist Russia, the government had to seize control through force and everything. People weren't just going to give up all their money to the government. We're making you give all, when the Bolsheviks took over and communism took over, all the money in Russia, everybody's money in Russia was seized by the government under the guise where we're going to spread it around to make sure there are no, rich oligarchs like the Tsar anymore. And then what happened is the government officials became rich. Oh, wait. That's what happens in America now. Yeah, that's what happens in America. We'll be right back after this timeout with hour number 3 of Ocala Talks. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We are WOCA Radio, the source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.